the space again. They're not really getting tight. No real urgency to get out to click. They are struggling.
Again, great space exploited by Matthias Klick with a run into the near post. He'll break for Alioski. Well, you know, that should have been 2-0 because he had time to pick his spot there, Gianni Alioski. And he swung at it rather, and over the top it went.
Well, it's his right foot. Normally, as I'm very much left-footed myself, the right foot is for standing on, not so much for swinging towards goal, but really he has to hit the target there. I think that's number 2. Goes for power instead, just put his boot through it. Right leg never quite got over the ball, but look how much space he's got inside the 18-yard box.
Yeah, I mean, for Lee Bowyer, these are worrying times, aren't they? Because he's having a little discussion down below us now on the edge of the technical area because they just can't get anywhere near Leeds at the moment. That's another commanding header won by White, and then the ball ends up going into touch for a Charlton throw-in. Doughty will take it for them. Now he'll leave it for Sarr. So Naby Sarr takes a shorter throw for Charlton from the near side touchline. They might have got Adam Matthews involved again. Strauch, the clearance is only into the path of Lockyer, the Welsh international, and his ball over the top goes nowhere in particular. And now we have the first drinks break. Well, it's just Leeds doing what Leeds have been doing, isn't it, Paul?
Playing with such confidence and such ease as well. The contrast between this and the Barnsley game, it's night and day. The pressure, obviously, that was involved in that game has been eased off them. They've had a few days now to celebrate, and they're doing what's expected of them on a daily basis from the manager. You worry for Charlton, the way that they set up defensively. They give Leeds far too much space, sitting off them, allowing them possession, which is one thing that you don't want to do to this Leeds team. We've seen Leeds dominate possession in games, create chances, and they've been allowed to do that at free will. And at the moment, they look very, very comfortable. Charlton have just changed to a 4 at the back, and you can see Lee Bowyer down there dishing out instructions. They really are going to have to change something if they're going to affect this game and get something out of it.
And we're seeing the Ben White goal again. Oh, and why not?
Why not? Watch that over and over. And Paul's right. The most difficult thing about that is that normally you run on to the ball or a volley, but instead he had to wait for the ball to come down. He stood still and still got that much power generated along with accuracy. Really is impressive. Let's remind ourselves he is a centre half. That was impressive technique.
Well, it's possibly the penultimate drinks break that we'll see. Who knows? We're anticipating a return to action sometime in mid-September, when the game returns and resumes with a new season. It will be interesting to see which aspects of this current arrangement will still be in place, whether the drinks break will still be a thing come September. And Ben White, will he still be a thing as far as Leeds United are concerned come September? Boom. Bamford can't quite find Jack Harrison. Sarr stretches. And then Jack Harrison will drop the ball and leave it for Luke Kaling. Came into the action at Derby after that really unfortunate injury suffered by Gaetano Berardi, who's here this evening. We wish him all the very best in his recovery. Whenever he's been called upon this season, Berardi, he's done a brilliant job for Leeds. The results record with him in the side is exceptional. So it's a real shame for him and for Leeds United that he suffered that injury at Derby. And hope that he'll be around and able to take part and involved after Leeds finally achieve promotion next season. Charlton, no foul given, so Leeds can break. And look how this is 5v3 here as Leeds counter-attack. There's space, huge space for Pablo Hernandez. Pablo Hernandez in the penalty area. Pablo Hernandez goes one way, drives a shot the other, and it's fingertips from the keeper to push that one away, or that was 2-0.
Well, yet again, certainly Charlton just getting carved over, but actually Ben White was the one that come out from the back. He lost the ball, and he worked really hard to get it back. After we did get it back, my goodness, then it was all Leeds United. Look how many white shirts we've got inside the box. This time Pablo couldn't quite find the finish to go with some good play.
And so Leeds get another corner kick. We know what happens now with these. Ben White will be waiting, lurking in the D. makes his way into the penalty area now, maybe more conventionally for a central defender. In it goes, heads go up from Liam Cooper. Cooper wants to get in on the act, and the ballers take the deflection there. Leeds get another corner kick.
Oh, good head to it. I think I see good defending. Cooper certainly did get the ball, tried to head it goalwards, just deflected away from a corner.
Comes out to Dallas. Nice variation in the approach there, and it goes towards the far post where Harrison was waiting. Just nodded away before it arrived at Jack Harrison, but Leeds keep the pressure on with Alioski. It's just relentless. We've used that word so many times this season. Relentless from Leeds United. Ben White now out towards Hernandez now on the right side of the penalty. What a ball into Click. Click with a little flick towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's almost party piece time. As Leeds will struggle now because suddenly Charlton, as a result of Liam Cooper's slip, have got themselves into an advanced position into the area it goes. But that's brilliant covering play. That was Pablo Hernandez who made that interception in his own penalty area. The guy's 35 years old.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. It really is. He was up there in corner kicks in and around the box and then sprints all the way back as well. But just those flicks and tricks, you've got to be careful as well. You don't want to certainly concede and make this game any more difficult than it needs to be. They're in complete control. Make Charlton earn every single thing.
Mellier's had his first touch for quite a while there, I think, hasn't he? Paulie could have come and sat with us, to be honest.
He's been unemployed for the majority of the game, which is good to see. It shows how well they're playing. I was disappointed for him that he lost his place in the last game, because I think he's done so fantastically well. I didn't see the need to make a change. I think the young lads come in, and I think he's getting better and more confident with every game. And I think, for an extended run, I think it'd been nice for him to keep his place, and I'm very pleased that he's back in the side tonight.
What a ball that was from Hernandez out to Harrison. Harrison up towards the edge of the penalty area. Sarr does enough just to put him off, but then Hernandez arrives in the nick of time at the Caped Crusader, and it comes out towards this near side of Stuart Dallas, and Leeds start turning the screw again. Oh my word! Oh my goodness me! Well, what do you say about football like that? What about that pass from Pablo Hernandez? He waves the magic wand and he creates another goal, and Stuart Dallas with a lovely finish. Leeds United 2, Charlton 0.
Well, there's no doubt we deserve to be 2 up at least, but what a fantastic goal it was. Nutmeg as well from Hernandez. Knew exactly what he was doing. Open your legs. Oh, there goes the ball. And there goes the finish outside of the right boot from Stuart Dallas as well, but I want to see this again. Oh, wonderful. He's nutmegged him from 3-4 yards away. What a goal.
Exhibition stuff. Absolute exhibition football. And there's players that you look at and you say, oh, that's a lucky pass. He went through the defender's legs. He meant every minute of that. What a brilliant pass. And we've seen him do it so many times this season.
3 times on Sunday. So the Megs count for Pablo Hernandez this season must be well into double figures now. And now Charlton know they're in a really difficult place here in this game now, because with less than half an hour of the first half having gone, they're already staring down the barrel of a pretty heavy defeat potentially here. And goals could yet become crucial, because they were out of the relegation places on goals, and they've slipped into them currently on the basis of the fact that they've conceded 2 here. Luton also playing this evening at home. So Charlton don't want to make a bad situation worse, but at the moment they just are not in this game. I mean, they're being utterly outclassed.
They certainly are, but the movement from us is just incredible. They can't actually get near anyone. They're trying to certainly pick up spaces, but look at this. Here we go again.
Stroud tries the little pass with the outstep this time, and the goalkeeper is able to gather gratefully, I'm sure. And just Charlton need 5 minutes where they can try and establish some sort of platform back in this game and prevent Leeds United from conjuring up moments like we've just seen created by Pablo Hernandez. The finish from Stuart Dallas.
Just a foul on the far side by Alioski. But I think certainly if Charlton continue with the 2 up top, it allows us so much space, because we bypass those 2 very, very easily. Ben White either slithers through and off he goes, and the space just opens up time and time again.
It's like you mentioned, Paul, for Lee Bowyen, it is a situation whereby you'll be aware now that technically they're in the relegation zone. Technically, no matter, you can't rely on appeals or points deductions necessarily, can you? So, even that becomes part of the thinking now, the number of goals potentially that you concede, I guess.
Well, the way things currently stand now, I think they're 11 points behind Wigan, and if Wigan were to have 12 deducted, it would be Charlton safe and Wigan not. But what did you say? Quite rightly, Sheffield Wednesday, Derby County as well, potential investigations. So at the moment, as it stands and with the other results, Charlton are going down.
So a tough old night for the away team here, as maybe you always suspected it would be, as Leeds again show that resilience and desire, win the ball back, and then suddenly players pouring forward in white shirts.
It's just speed of thought. I mean, my goodness, Davison for Charlton there took an age, and Coops nipped in quickly.
Ayling will have a crack. Oh, what a crack! And it's fingertips from the keeper to push that one away. I think that was flying into the back of the net.
What a fantastic strike that was, and that could have been nestling in the bottom corner or in the inside of the post, but Dylan Phillips has just got a fingertip to that. Luke Ayling has scored some important goals this season from fullback, and that almost was another beauty, but that is tipped around the bar, around the post, really well from Dylan Phillips.
It's almost a kind of toe poke, wasn't it? It's off the laces kind of thing, off the top of the boot.
Flat foot off the laces, great strike, a bit of movement on the ball. It was a very good save.
So Hernandez swings another corner kick in. Pierce with a header clear, comes out for the low drive, and it's only just deflected wide. I think that might well have been heading for goal. Well, it was definitely heading for goal. It might have been heading into the goal from Stuart Dallas.
He's having a little smile now, but I think you're right. Again, corner kick. Actually, this was a good delivery again, right in the middle of the goal. Where is the Charlton pressure? Absolutely nowhere. It was Cooley Bond just taking it away.
Another one comes in from Hernandez. Heads go up in there. This time, Leeds man on the end of it is Alioski. Click will have a shot now. It's shooting practice for Leeds United at this stage of the first period. Alioski on this near side. What a ball from Alioski to Click. Click has all the time in the world to measure the cross. On this occasion, can't get it past the not insignificant figure of Sarr standing in front of him. So Leeds have to settle for a quickly taken throw in. Harrison. Looking for room for the shot maybe. Hernandez joins in. Brought down. That's a free kick to Leeds, just where Charlton don't really want to concede a free kick.
It's another nutmeg.
Is it on the
Josh,
list?
it is another nutmeg. You said it's double figures. I'm going triple figures. I'm telling you. Here you see it
Yeah,
again.
there you go.
See you later. And Cullen is the offender this time.
Again, that's one of those in Sunday League that usually brings retribution ultimately. And it done to me a few times, that's for sure. Jack Harrison standing over the ball. Inevitably, Pablo Hernandez standing over the ball. Gianni Alioski there as well. I think if I were to put my money on any of those three, what two now, it would be Pablo Hernandez to have a go here. We shall see. Harrison steps away. Hernandez curls it. Well, he didn't quite beat the wall. Takes a deflection off, goes behind, so Leeds do have a corner.
To be fair, it's a huge wall as well to get it up and over with Sarr in there, just second one in as well. That's kind of where you want to get it up and over too.
It's rolled into the penalty area quickly. Bamford to Hernandez to Click. And Click will try with the outstep this time from considerably further away than Stuart Dallas managed.
Okay, I think the boys have got together and thought, right, let's see how many goals we can score with the outside of our boot tonight. Shall we do that?
There's certainly variation in terms of the shooting, that's for sure. But the shots are just, they're pouring in, aren't they?
You feel for Charlton at the moment. This literally could be as many as Leeds United want it to be at the moment. Charlton can't seem to get any possession of the ball. They can't seem to get out their own half. But we talked about Leeds' application, just to give the viewers at home an idea. Marcelo Bielsa has not sat down for the last 10 minutes. He's on his bucket, he's pacing up and down, he's squatting in the corner, he's talking to his staff. He's reliving and kicking every single ball that happens. And that just shows why the lads have got the application, the desire that they've got on the pitch.
He has Carlos Corberán standing. Start to retreat soon. Interesting appointment by Huddersfield to get the Leeds coach in. He's been working with the under-23s at Leeds, and he's always on duty on first team day. Somebody we've interviewed many times on LUTV, so start to retreat soon. Interesting appointment by Huddersfield to get the... it does mean that Marcelo Bielsa may have to go and look to appoint to his coaching staff again this summer. Well, we hope that's what he'll be doing. ball into Harrison. Got the wrong side of the defender. Harrison into the penalty area. Rolls it back to Stuart Dallas. He'll shoot. And the goalkeeper again shows good hands to push the ball as another shot flies goalwards.
Well, it's just too easy for us. I mean, we are just tearing away at this Charlton defence. So much time and space we've got. There's Stuart Dallas this time putting another good save out from Dylan Phillips, but I really do worry from this Charlton side. I mean, even at half-time, I'm not sure what Bose can do, because at the moment they're getting outclassed. They're also outfought. Just don't seem to have a clue of how to stop us.
So Hernandez gives the signal, and then he delivers to the edge of the penalty area, and Stuart Dallas have another go made. Well, that's a handball, clearly, surely. Well, nothing given by the referee. You can hear the shouts in the background, and as a result, a sudden counter-attack. Now Charlton have their first chance as the ball is into the penalty area, and it goes wide. Well, in the situation Charlton are in, that chance needed to be taken, but Doughty on the breakaway put it wide.
Well, I think, firstly, that is a handball, but it didn't go our way. And after that, Doughty, you're quite right. He's coming to the side, showed really good pace there. That arm is away from the body. That is a handball. And after that, we're trying to get back to him. Does really well. Shows great pace, composure, head up, but Meslier just makes himself big, comes out. He should score. We did enough.
West Bromwich Albion still drawing with Queen's Park Rangers in games elsewhere. West Bromwich Albion, QPR have just scored against West Bromwich Albion, and I have a friend, a good friend, who's a massive West Bromwich Albion fan, and he will currently be a very, very unhappy man. So Brentford are currently on course for promotion, despite the fact they're being held by plucky Barnsley, who we saw not so long ago here at Ellen Road put in arguably the best away team's performance of the season. There's a real little battle going on between Bamford and Pearce, isn't there? Bamford caught him off the ball as the ball was cleared a few seconds ago, moments ago. And now Pearce has come through the back of the Leeds player as well there.
You're absolutely right. There's nothing subtle about them, is there? Let's be honest. And that's just a brute force straight through the back. Anyone can do that. It was a foul all day long. He's very lucky he's not in the book yet. It's a couple of bad challenges.
It's quite commendable to be jumping into tackles like that from both players' perspective, I guess, at this late stage. But the pressure is on Pearce in this situation, very much rather than on the Leeds player Patrick Bamford. He would dearly love to add to his goals total, I'm sure. Maybe this is a chance. Hernandez, in it goes. Over the head of Strauch. And the break is on again, maybe for Doughty. Leeds get players back. Click is chasing him, but Doughty's quick, and he's gone inside. He's tried to go inside, but Dallas has read that and done really well. Gets the ball out to Pablo Hernandez, and when you look up again, you see a massive white shirts around the edge of the Leeds United penalty area, and you see two black Charlton shirts. And that's that desire these Leeds players have to get back and get into the defensive position before they set off and start attacking all over again. It requires them to be incredibly fit. Hernandez switches play, nice ball to Dallas. Dallas into penalty area to Bamford. Bamford is held up, he's caught offside there. Just stepped back from an offside position, free kick Charlton.
It's just half a yard the other side of the two centre halves, but again, just the time and space that we've got just to pick out our men. Play little 1-2s in around the box. All quite comfortable so far, but just got to be careful on the break. We've already seen once or twice Doughty certainly has got some pace.
So Charlton have a chance to throw an extra few bodies forward with a little over 5 minutes to go before the interval here. I don't think there'll be much time to be added on as things stand. Leeds have kept the game moving very quickly often, usually in possession. Strauch. How wide it goes to Alioski. Alioski's under pressure. Infield to Hernandez. Tries to stab it with the outstep. Doughty on the edge of the centre circle. And here the strains of marching on together being played from somewhere. I suspect it might even be outside the stadium. Meslier comes and gathers well. Flag was up anyway. Meslier, who will be joining the club on a permanent basis from Lorient. Now the loan is coming towards the end of its period. So it looks like being a really good signing for Leeds. Out over the near side touchline, well, not quite. So Sarr stabs it straight into the path of Ben White. Little step over from Hernandez. Jack Harrison has to go back, and then Ayling. Oh, look at this stuff now. Close control football from Leeds, and it's lovely. And Harrison has possession, and he's attacking the penalty area. He's into the penalty area. He's still going, Jack Harrison, and he just overruns the ball. Charlton just about managed to smuggle that one back up towards the halfway line. And guess what? Liam Cooper picks it up, and Leeds start all over again. Strauch, crisp ball into Pablo Hernandez. Hernandez, how did that work? It was a back heel that appeared to be just played into space, but Bamford was on exactly the right wavelength there and almost made it a pass.
Absolutely, some of the precision passing is absolutely superb. The movement, I think the confidence as well. Obviously, the boys have confidence in each other to pass and move, knowing that the pass will come.
You can see Charlton getting frustrated, chasing shadows at times as well. When they are getting close to the Leeds players, there's some flailing arms and there's some late tackles coming in, and you can see the frustration creeping in already.
Elsewhere, Luton Town are winning currently, so that is not good news for Charlton Athletic either. And Cardiff City are also winning as the playoff places have yet to be determined. Final one still up for grabs, or maybe final two up for grabs there as well. So as it stands, Charlton are in the bottom three. Luton would be climbing out to the bottom three. And Barnsley are now leading at Brentford. Now this is incredible stuff, isn't it?
Wow!
How glad are you that you don't have to worry about?
You're absolutely right, because we're not involved. I'm enjoying this. Absolutely.
Well, there's the as it stands table. So suddenly West Brom, who are also losing at home to QPR, are back in the frame again. So crazy times in the Championship, but with a way to go yet in the games. I guess anything could happen. The only thing you can say with any degree of certainty is Leeds United are going up as champions. Stuart Dallas, Pablo Hernandez into the centre circle. There's room and space here. Potentially Harrison couldn't quite find his teammate there. Sarr has it for Charlton. Maybe for the last 5 minutes or so, Charlton have finally begun to see a little bit of the ball, and they've got a few bodies up in the Leeds half now. It's the first opportunity they've had to try and do something with the ball in Leeds territory over a concerted period. And again, they're always under pressure, always being harassed. And as the passes break down for Leeds and Charlton, Click picks up, and now when you look up, now you can see the opportunity that presents itself maybe to Leeds again here, with Charlton having pushed extra bodies forward. As they, I guess, have to. They really have to. They've got to chase something as it stands. 2-0 down, heading towards half-time. The scoreline could have been 2 or 3 times as big as that. But they attack again. But great work from Alioski to step in, just nip the ball back into Leeds' possession. And now Hernandez, it's 3 against 3, pretty much. Oh, the ball to Harrison was measured. Sarr again stretches a long leg out, just about manages to make contact. Charlton are trying to respond here, trying to retaliate almost, but they have to work so hard for everything, really gaining an awful lot of ground, having missed that one really good chance for Doughty. You wonder whether they'll get another one like that.
You just saw as well, Craig's vision of defending from Ben White. They're just stepping in front. Does that so very well. Just nips in front of the striker, who waits for the ball to come on. He steps in, gains possession, and off we go again.
Hernandez to Harrison for Leeds, attacking now to Click into the penalty area. He'll turn the ball back to the edge of the 6-yard box. And Bamford was arriving at pace. It was cleared away by Lockyer. Another chance almost for Leeds United created there, but they can come again now with Harrison square to Strauch. And Strauch apparently will have a crack if the opportunity presents itself. Alioski will definitely do that. And it flies just wide. The keeper was at full stretch. I'm sure he was glad to see that one go the wrong side of the post from Leeds' perspective.
I thought it was going to fly in yet again, but Dylan Phillips, I think he should be having a go at his defenders in midfield. You've got to certainly get out closer and tighter and not allow us to have shots from everywhere. We've had so many in this first half. This time Alioski, and look at that, there's no one within 2 or 3 yards of it. Really good strike, just always going away and wide of the target, but not too far wide.
So 2 minutes to be added on at the end of this first period. Didn't think it was going to be much. And Marcelo Bielsa, his 100th game in charge of Leeds United. And he's halfway towards yet another victory. What a phenomenal influence he's had on this football club. Sarr with a throw in for Charlton Athletic. Looking for movement, looking for a teammate, looking for anything really. As quickly as it's won, it's lost. Leeds have it back with Click. Harrison. Every challenge from Charlton has that slightly desperate air about it at the moment. Pierce slides in there.
Absolutely, but he also then tried to kick him with the other foot as well. I mean, Pierce is on a tightrope. I think if you certainly rattle him anymore, he will blow up.
Not enjoying his return trip at the moment to Ellen Road, it would appear. Meslier comes out of his penalty area to play a little possession football with his teammates. And then Meslier to White. And out to Ayling. And then Ayling back in field to White. Leeds can do what they like with it now, because look at the space that Strauch has. He plays it in through the channel, and it always came for Bamford, then it always came for Dallas. Ultimately, it was taken away from between the pair of them. McGeady. Forward it goes. Last few seconds of this first period. Charlton with a relatively rare foray forward. And there is the last action of the first period. Well, in terms of complete dominance, it would be hard to compare that with any other game we've seen this season so far, because Leeds United, from start to finish, completely on top and playing some terrific football.
You're absolutely right. Of course, we certainly question how the lads would respond after winning the title. Well, we shouldn't have questioned that, should we? Because their attitude has been absolutely fantastic. Just like they have all throughout the season, they've applied themselves well. They've been comfortably head and shoulders above this Charlton Athletic side. They deserve their 2-goal lead, probably deserve 1 or 2 more as well, but really good play out there. They're having fun, and I'm enjoying watching them.
What does Lee Bowyer say to that Charlton side now, Paul?
I think he's obviously going to be made aware of other results, because I know that the table's standing, and he's going to know that he's going to have to change. And the way his team talk goes, this is potentially your last 45 minutes in this league unless you do something about it.
So big times ahead for Lee Bowyer. Good times ahead for Leeds United. Half-time scoreline here at Ellen Road. Leeds United 2, Charlton Athletic 0.
Welcome back to LUTV. We are live here at Elland Road, and it is the Champions 2, Charlton 0. I'm joined once more by former Leeds United player Ben Parker and also former Leeds United player Andy Hughes to reflect on that first half. We're going to have a look at the highlights shortly, but it's fair to say, pretty much echo what the commentary team said, Ben. They're just having fun out there and completely dominating.
Fun, and you described it, Champions 2. I just like how you introduced it there, Emma. And me and Andy Hughes were talking throughout the game. Just a joy to watch, unbelievable. And I think we'll come into the results at half-time scores a bit later into this. And it's just so nice not to be involved in any of the top of the table clashes down at the bottom. But straight from the off, usually, wasn't it? It was just cruise control.
Yeah, I thought Charlton were going to come out and press him and get after him, but the movement off the midfield free and the wingers rolling in off the shape's incredible. I mean, that chance there was unbelievable. Just missed the top corner. I mean, fair play to Harrison, but the best player for Charlton's been the goalkeeper. But in every sense, you can see they're playing freely. They've got no worries. I mean, look at that goal, the touch. He's on his bad foot as well.
First
Fabulous.
goal, final game.
Pick that one out. And let's I'll be honest, Ben White, he's enjoyed the last few days. I'm not going to lie, but that's probably why teams up and down the country are looking at him. This is why we're really desperate for him to stay. But just in moving out of central defence, how big is that in a team?
Well, if you've got a centre-half that's not afraid to come out with the ball and start attacks, he can be your best form of attack. You've seen numerous occasions today he's come striding out and set the attacks.
And we're just getting to these areas so many times. This time, again, you mentioned the Charlton goalkeeper. He's a guy you've played with at Charlton as well.
He's the best player. He's a young lad. He's the best player at the club. He's just got Player of the Year. I expect him to get a big move this season. He has been outstanding. But if you just look at the movement here and the combination play wide, the overloads, but that nutmeg pass and that finish was absolutely outstanding.
Keep going about Pablo Hernandez. He's got Premier League quality. that it just shows it there in a nutshell. There's not many people in the Championship can see this bit of vision.
But he's meant that pass through the legs, and Stewie Dallas just showing that little toe poke to go past there. It was nonchalant. It was like a training ground goal. Really was.
It was, and I think Adam Forshaw summed it up in commentary on Sunday when he said Pablo Hernandez can nutmeg a mermaid. So that just goes to show the quality of the man. But time and time again, getting to these positions, you mentioned it, Emma. It was fun. It really was. And like you say, usually it's something on the training ground. But do you get this where the pressure's off players, and when pressure's off top quality players that produce performances like this?
Yeah, and that's what champions do. Whether they've had 24 hours sleep or no sleep, when you're playing with freedom and you know you've won the league and you can attack and not worry what's behind you, you can see the rewards of it. I mean, some of the saves that the keepers make, top class. This was the one chance they had from a counter-attack. Every single Leeds player was virtually in the penalty box. I was a little bit mystified why they didn't have anyone back, and it led to this chance. And ultimately, 2 or 3 of Charlton's best chances have been from counter-attacks.
That was a massive chance for them. He has to score, doesn't he, basically?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the live league table, top and bottom, it's getting interesting. And at the minute, Charlton, unfortunately, are going down.
So it could have been a massive, massive goal for them. But we kick on again. We create plenty of chances, don't we, Emma? And it could have easily have been 5, 6 goals, easily for our favour. Like I said, just a joy to watch.
It certainly was. We'll have a look at the stats in a moment, but you mentioned there to Andy, Ben, the fact that you can play with that freedom. There's been so much talk around the fact that Charlton have so much to play for when we're coming here, trying to stay in the Championship. But it seems as though the pressure is almost too much for them, doesn't it?
I think they've kind of set up in the wrong way. Usually, you mentioned about the wing backs been a bit too deep. They've just been able to get out of the shape to close us down. That's all, have they?
Yeah, I mean, lucky enough, we get to see the game from a bird's eye view. And ultimately, the wing backs have been too deep, and they're not been able to get out. Now, this has led to overloads wide and frustration. And you can see the energy that Click's got in the middle of the park with Hernandez and the movement and Stewie Dallas. No one's really keeping up with them physically. They're just at it. They're moving around. You can just tell every day they are drilled, they are coached, they know what they're doing. And unfortunately, at the minute, Charlton are working on long throws and counter-attacks from set pieces. I can't see them getting back into this game, and unfortunately, it's not looking great for them.
Well, we'll touch on that more in a moment, but right now, let's have a look at the match stats from that first half. As we can see right down at the bottom, no surprise, 77% possession, as we said, completely dominated. But what do we always say, Ben?
Top line that car.
Yes, it is. 2 goals for Leeds United. Right then, so many crucial games happening in the Championship tonight. So much at stake for so many clubs. There's 14 of them yet to have their fate decided in the second half. Let's have a look at how that stands now. Derby are currently beating Birmingham 1-0. Barnsley are beating Brentford 1-0. Preston 1-0 up against Bristol. Cardiff 2-0 up against Hull. Luton beating Blackburn 2-1. It's currently 1-1 Millwall Huddersfield. Stoke are beating Nottingham Forest 1-0. Reading Swansea is 1-1. Sheffield Wednesday, Middlesbrough 1-1, and the same West Brom against QPR 1-1. Wigan beating Fulham 1-0. We'll have a look as well at the half-time scores in the Premier League. Let's have a look at that. Full time, Manchester United have drawn against West Ham, and Liverpool-Chelsea is currently 0-0. Let's have a look then at the live league table as it stands right now. And as we know, this can change apart from that very top line. As we see Leeds United there, big fat C next to it. This is as it stands right now, which would mean that West Brom would be following us up into the Premier League. Let's have a look at the bottom half as well to see who, as it stands, would be getting relegated. Yeah, so Hull City right down there, of course, Charlton, who've got another 45 minutes to play against us, and Barnsley, of course, Wigan, with their deducted points as well, still managing to stay there, which is very impressive. Now, we've heard Lee Bowyer say, Ben, that he is going to be keeping an eye on the other scores, obviously, because there's a lot at stake for him. Right now, he's going to be in there at half-time, 2-0 down, having a look at that and going, lads, what do we do?
Yeah, exactly. What do they do? Like Hughes was just saying there, I can't see him getting back into this game. We're so far dominant, and they'll know all the results. You know every little bit of detail at half-time. But the kind of difficult thing is the points deduction with Wigan. They're winning. The other results coming through in the second half. I don't know, Hughes. You've been there, being a coach. What can they do?
Well, honestly, I think it's going to be tough for Lee Bowyer in there and Johnny Jackson just to lift the players. you've just got to relax and you've got to take the shackles off. You've got to do something. You've got to change something. You've got to make a sub. You've got to get an impact. I mean, looking at West Brom, managing to get a goal just before half-time, my good friend John Morris and his dad will be extremely happy with that. Because everyone's looking at, is it going to be West Brom or Brentford? And then Barnsley getting a result away there, but that still doesn't get them out of it. For me, it's the most exciting league. And like you say, unfortunately, when you're 2-0 down and you're seeing Leeds United play with such freedom and expressing themselves, I can't tactically see how Charlton are going to get back in this game, which is really unfortunate, being one of my ex-clubs.
Leeds are absolutely dominating. And Andy's right, isn't he? The Championship is such an exciting league, Ben. You know, we have a look at the league table there, we see the half-time scores, and that, you know, it actually isn't a shock looking at that, is it?
No, but guess what? We'd have to worry about it next season. We're going to the Premier League. But no, it's such unpredictable. We were coming here at full-time, I guarantee it was all changed by full-time. But win your games. You look at the top three at the moment, trying to get that second automatic position. None of them winning at the moment, and that's what pressure does. And that's the impressive thing that we've done in the Project Restart in the 9 games. We've dealt with pressure, we've come out the other side, and we've produced performances that's basically made us champions.
It certainly has. And Andy, for, you know, quite a few of these games, as Ben sort of hinted at there, we were playing after our rivals right up there in the Championship. How important is it that you don't let that pressure get to you?
I just think from last year they've learned such a huge learning curve in handling that pressure, and it's harder to play after your opponents. So they need more accolades for doing that. It's been incredible the way that they've played and got on with it and got through it and not let anyone affect them. You can see teams choking at the top of the league, and that's what pressure does. It is life-changing going to the Premier League, not only for players, for families, for staff, for the club. The amount of money that relies on it is phenomenal, and that's what pressure does to you. That's what it does. You know, the pressure's huge at the bottom. Listen, don't get me wrong, pressure's not being able to pay your bills, etc. We know that. But in football, it is huge. And you can see it makes teams choke.
It really does. Well, it smiles all round here at Ellen Road. Let's have another look at the goals, actually, from the first half.
And it's that man we spoke about, isn't it, Hughes? You're driving out from centre-half position. You don't really expect him to chest one on edge of box and ping one into top corner. Well, you probably do with Ben White.
But when you've got no pressure on you, you just play free. Honestly, you know, you've experienced as a player, when you're playing well and you know it, he's probably hit that and he's not even felt it on his foot. He was hit it that sweet. You know, the keeper's nearly got it, but it's just around the box. You know, he's not on the edge of the box for a reason. He's there for a reason. They probably played for seconds. The manager tactically's worked on it. You know, 9 times out of 10 when clearances happen, they do fall to the edge of the box, and he's fell right on it. But you can see here, the overlapping runs created the space for the nutmeg. You know, everyone's looking at the goal and the movement. It's the overlapping run on the outside that's created that space for Hernandez to find that pass.
You speak about overlapping runs, third-man runs. How much work goes into that on the training pitch?
Relentless. Every day they will do third-man runs, just like they work on defending. Never get done on a 1-2. You look at this team here, you never see Luke Ayling, Coops ever get done on a 1-2, and it's the same with attacking. Triangles, overloads, really simple. Give it the spare man. I mean, every corner that Leeds get it is on for a 3 versus 1. So I expect this half to do short corners as well.
This type of football, how can it work? Does it work in the Premier League and the high energy that we do possess?
Of course it works. You see Manchester City do it, you see Liverpool do it. But what you've got to do is you've got to make the players believe that they're good enough to do it. Now, they've earned the right to get to the Premier League, and it's the same thing. Stick to your identity, stick to your principles, and they'll do it. They'll get out there. They've got a manager that just breathes confidence, but not does he do that. He educates them on and off the pitch. He educates them. It's as simple as this. If you put Ben White in Hernandez's position, he'll know how to play it. If you put Luke Ayling in Bamford's position, he knows how to play it because every single player knows the roles and responsibilities of each position.
They certainly do. Andy Hughes, thank you very much for joining us on LUTV at halftime. The teams are coming back out right now. It is currently the Champions 2 at Charlton 0. We'll go back into Ellen Road now and meet your commentary team once more at Bryn Law, Tony DeRigo and Paul Robinson.
Thanks very much. Charlton, not unexpectedly, are preparing to make a raft of changes at the start of the second half. Lee Bowyer knows that things have to go very differently because his side at the moment staring down the barrel, currently having dropped 2 places in the table to second from bottom as it stands at half time. as a result of this game here, and Barnsley winning at Brentford currently. They've gone above Charlton. Luton also winning. And at the moment, the incredible thing is that there's an opportunity at the other end, at the top end, for Fulham to get themselves promoted, but they're losing against Wigan. So Fulham would be distraught, I would imagine, at the end of the evening if they found that they'd missed the chance because their two teams above them had both slipped up in home games. If they couldn't then do the job against Wigan. See, as the three players come on for the changes, we also see that Jason Pearce is not going to be taking any further part in this game for Charlton Athletic. His leg is all strapped up with the ice bag on it. And that will tell you that for the final time this fabulous, fabulous centenary season, Leeds United are emerging from the tunnel down below us. So that means the next time you see the team run out, well, you don't need to tell me, do you? It'll be against Premier League opposition. So 45 minutes to enjoy here, 45 minutes, sit back, relax, and hopefully see Leeds United put on another show, just as they did in the first half, just as they did at Derby, just as they've done on so many occasions. But now they're doing it without the pressure, without the tension, and it's pure 100% enjoyment. So Leeds will make a change as well. Tyler Roberts has come on to replace Patrick Bamford. Tyler Roberts, who had a succession of shots on the Derby goal at the weekend, we were laughing about it after the game, didn't ever quite manage to notch another goal. You'll hope that his opportunity arises in this second period here at Ellen Road. So Bamford's season is complete, and we know his goal tally is 16. Highly impressive number. We also look on to see whether the changes that Charlton have made, that Lee Bowyer's made in the interval. Johnny Williams, the man standing over the ball, the Welsh international, is one of those trio of changes they've made. And it's very much on an attacking basis, I think, here, because Williams will go and play as an attacking midfielder. Chuck Saniki will go and play up front as well. Another really, really big lad.
Absolutely right. Probably go more direct now. Aniki there just getting a foul away against Ben White. But of course, once they have put these attacking players on and push them further up, we've got to make sure they give them ammunition. So whether it's from set pieces or throw-ins, corner kicks, or just really launching it up there and then getting around the second ball further up the pitch. But if we can bypass this front three or four, again, we could be in for one or two more goals.
There's the fireworks going off outside the stadium. Okay, so the celebrations are quite clearly well underway in the environs of Ellen Road, it would appear. Elliot takes the ball back into his own penalty area. Incredibly, it's only 12 days since Leeds United played their first game of this season. 12 days to the year since Leeds United played their first game of this season away at Bristol City. Started with an impressive 3-1 win. I'd just come back off my holidays then. Here we all are, still hard at it, including Luke Ayling, who's racing forward, can't quite pass the ball to Tyler Roberts. So Anike gets his first run forward. Ben White, as ever, right man, right place, right time, defence for Leeds United.
I'm not sure Ben White understands the word panic. He is so cool and calm. Everything that he does, he just strolls through a game. I really do enjoy watching him.
Well, Charlton have, with a little bit of extra pressure, forced a corner kick at the start of this second period off Stuart Dallas. And with that extra height that they've put on from the bench there, maybe we'll fancy their chances as Naby Sarr comes up as well. And Lockyer, the other central defender, the one who's still on the park. And Leeds United have a set piece to defend. In swinger, Elliot can't get anywhere near that one, but it's a fine header clear by Cooper. Now Click for Harrison. Johnny Williams gets in ahead of him. Harrison races out to pursue the man in possession. Little interplay between Matthews and Sarr, and then into the Leeds penalty area. Now Anike turns and makes room for the shot on goal. Good save, Meslier with a leg. And Charlton fashioned a chance at the start of the second half and tried to do the same again, but this time it's easier for Meslier, who runs off his line quickly, gathers, and Leeds United have defended successfully.
Well, just about. Great save, wasn't it, from Meslier? Not involved in the game, and then suddenly when you are called upon, you make a save like that. Very impressive.
I think Charlton have maybe had a few words from Lebo here in the interval here. Judging to their approach to the second half seems to be in marked contrast to that of the first, as they attack again here at pace. And Meslier again has to drop down. So Mellier's had more work to do in the first 3.5 minutes of this second period than he had to do in the entire first 47.
They've started a lot better, Charlton. They've gone to 3 at the back. We've seen them playing a lot more direct, and they should have scored there. We're seeing the replay. Yeah, it's a decent save from the goalkeeper, but he's too far near his near post. All the far side of the goal's open. He gets away with one. The goalkeeper is a decent save. Tony said he's had nothing to do the whole game. That's a sign of a good goalkeeper. Makes a save when he's required. But we've certainly seen a different Charlton side. I think a few home truths have been had at half time, maybe about wage cuts and contracts in the lower league.
Yeah, implications, because certain future League One, League Two not even managed to get back in action by the playoffs. Wickham, of course, one of the sides who will be coming up to the Championship for the first time next season. So Adams Park will not be a place that Leeds United will be heading in the league at least. Stroud really strong in the challenge there, left the Charlton player in his wake. Wins the ball back well, and Pablo Hernandez carries forward as a result. Looking for movement in the box. Ball rebounds into his path, and Charlton defends successfully. And then Ben White does that thing again, steps in front of the oncoming forward and does great work there, spinning off a couple of challenges and winning a free kick.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, again, he just steps in front. And I think it's probably a nutmeg as well on Williams. Let's have a look here. And then, of course, the little twirl as well to win the free kick. But we've been a bit of loose, haven't we, I think, started the second half. Understandably so, but Marcelo Bielsa on his haunches again. No doubt we're barking out the orders to get the boys back on track.
Alioski, time and space to attack Adam Matthews maybe. Infield it goes to Hernandez, who lets it run for Dallas. Now there is space for Click on the right side into the penalty area, curled in, and the only thing the defender can do there is head behind for the corner kick.
Oh, certainly better. Right hand side, Click just getting the ball across. Alioski was in the box, just went above him, but suddenly the tempo from us is just that little bit slower. Pablo taking his time now.
Leeds have the opportunity to make further changes in this game. Vader and Shackleton amongst the replacements down by the corner flag, from which Pablo Hernandez will take this kick now. In it goes. Oh, yes! Tyler Roberts! Yes, of course, Leeds United will score a header direct from a corner kick. Tyler Roberts beats that one perfectly. And Leeds extend their advantage. And it's party time again here at Ellen Road. Leeds United 3, Charlton 0.
That's it. I've seen everything now. A goal direct from a corner kick. Fantastic. What a ball in it was. Excellent from Pablo. He does provide great service. Really has got quality in that right boot of his. And the substitute, Roberts, who's come on, and I think certainly in the second half of the season, he's been superb for Leeds United as well. Makes a little feint one way, comes the other, and a solid header as well past the keeper. Keeper actually is diving down. I'm not sure if he just stood tall, maybe he would have a better chance, Robbo.
Yeah, he's dived under the ball. The pace has just done him. He's headed from close range, and the pace on the ball's just done him. But we've seen tonight why Leeds United don't score from corners, because obviously we've got the centre-halves waiting on the edge of the box for the knockdowns, the chest and the screamers in the top corner, and then the centre-forwards, attacking the ball.
That's it. We played for second balls, don't we? Forget the first one.
It's all wrong, man.
Imagine if we were good at corner kicks.
Wow. Well, the goal tally is rising, and corner kicks have been a key part of two of the 3 goals we've seen so far. As Ben White and Liam Cooper play a little bit of head tennis, get the ball back, and you just wonder how much that's going to really hit Charlton now, because if they were going to score a goal, Had to be surely at the start of the second half, didn't it? Quickly, if you like.
Well, 2-0's a completely different scoreline. It's quite a difficult one to defend sometimes. You know, it's a strange one when you're 2-0 up and a team gets a goal against you early in the second half. All of a sudden, you know, you start to panic. You try not to, and you try, you know, to ward or get off against that. But it's very, very difficult, and that really has just taken the wind out of Charlton's sails.
Leeds have a chance again. Hernandez helps the ball onto Alioski. Flowing football from Leeds United. Alioski, well, he tried to just nip it into the path. He knew Click was coming, but he couldn't quite make the proper contact with the ball. And so Click breathes out and then heads back into his own half, which is where the ball is now. And again, fireworks go off outside of Ellen Road. Liam Cooper steps forward for Leeds. Gets the ball back from Alioski over the top for Hernandez. Well, he can't stretch that leg out there, Pablo Hernandez, to bring the ball under control. Johnny Williams sets off on a run for Charlton Athletic. Likes to run with the ball, Johnny Williams. Well, he's gone down under a pretty soft challenge there from Strauch, but sufficient for the referee to make the decision, I guess.
Well, I'm not sure it's a challenge from Strauch. It's more Johnny Williams just falling into Strauch. Here we see, down he goes. Wow, he must have some strength in that little finger, Strauch, because down Williams goes.
Well, Johnny Williams is a player I know well because of his Welsh involvement, and a player I've seen fouled probably more than any other. He's suffered terrible problems with his career with injuries. So on that occasion, I'm going to forgive Johnny Williams.
He actually played well against us down at
Deer Valley.
Yeah, he did very well.
On his day, a great player. Injuries have meant he hasn't had enough of those days. In the box, the ball goes, heads over the top. Well, that was a chance. When you're that big, surely the ball's got to go down from that position, hasn't it?
You're right, but I think it was slightly behind him, so he couldn't get onto it. Just have a look at the ball as it curls back. He had to try and then arch his neck. You're quite right, he is a unit, isn't he? Couldn't quite get above it, even if he is 7 foot tall. He didn't jump high enough.
Well, there's quite a display going on out there, quite clearly. Toffee apple, anyone? Strauch. On to Alioski. Lovely layoff from Alioski to Click. Click waiting for the return run of Alioski. Takes the ball in field instead. Now Dallas. Leeds going through the repertoire as Hernandez will have a crack from distance. Well, it would have been fitting if Pablo Hernandez had fitted that one in the corner. There's still time.
Yeah, there certainly is time. The only strange thing about that was it was like 10 yards wide, because Pablo normally, technically, absolutely brilliant. Didn't quite bring a save out of the keeper that time.
Lockyer under pressure. 2 Welsh internationals in competition for the ball there. 2 players who were expecting to be involved in the Euros this summer, instead of which, here we are, end of July, still playing league football. How did that happen? Adam Matthews throws a ball in, another Welsh international, to Johnny Williams. Yeah, another Welsh international. And it comes out over the near side touchline. It's the Scottish international Liam Cooper, back to Luke Ayling. And Luke Ayling is afforded the space of most of his own half to work into there. That ominous look is beginning to come back for Leeds United here as Charlton again, I think, begin to lose belief. Field plays it back to Sarr. Sarr, as ever, under pressure. And then, again, the pressure sees the ball having to go back to the goalkeeper. And if this is a Charlton side who are chasing something dramatic from this game, it's not being made easy for them. Because Leeds are working and working and working, just as they have done in every single game this season. There's been no let-up, not even now. 33 minutes away from the end of the season. Roberts will push the ball onto Alioski. The defender will get there first and will get a little trip for his troubles. Charlton get the free kick.
Just looking down, Pablo, I think, has just tweaked his ankle or his knee. He's still getting up and marching on.
All changed around at the Hawthorns, where West Bromwich Albion now lead by 2-1 against QPR. So West Brom, who've been nip and tuck with Leeds United for the lion's share of the season, 2 sides being in the top 2 for such a long time, and it would appear that at the moment it's West Bromwich Albion who've got themselves in front against QPR, who are heading with Leeds to the Premier League. Brentford, despite that incredible run they had through this restart period, are going to fall just a little bit short and will have to rely on a place potentially through the playoffs. Charlton have their sights set on just surviving. At the moment, they're a long way from being able to do that, but they are attacking again, with Matthews due to deliver the throw in. He's going to deliver it long by the look of it again, and Leeds are about to make a change. Poveda and Shackleton, in fact, are the two players who are going to come on. Jamie Shackleton, who of course notched his first goal for the club. Cue great celebrations in the Shackleton household, as captured on the LUTV cameras. And maybe Jamie Shackleton will have the chance to add to his total before the night is out here. Corner kick again for Charlton. Still having a go, I guess. What else can they do at this stage? So Cullen delivers. Ayling's beaten to it. Leeds have to defend the near post, and the ball is across the face of goal and driven in again, and Meslier gets fingertips, and it's a great block actually from Luke Ayling. That's the determination to keep the clean sheet that you've just seen there as Macaulay Bond fired goalwards.
You're absolutely right. Make sure we keep that clean sheet, really important. Defenders and keeper should be proud of that. Ayling just throwing himself at the ball.
Up to the hour mark here at Ellen Road. In its swings, this time it's Tyler Roberts with the defensive header. So heads the ball into the goal at one end from a corner and away from the goal at the other end from a corner. Charlton with Doughty to take the throw in. Again, it looks like it may be delivered long. Still Poveda and Shackleton wait. Straight to the head of Stuart Dallas. Charlton win it back, edge of the penalty area. Shot goalwards. Meslier read it. Deflection, took it straight into his grasp, and now there's a break on for Leeds. Charlton put a lot of men forward for that last period of attack. And Alioski now with Roberts in field and Click as well. And now Hernandez, maybe his last action. Pablo Hernandez here. And it goes from Click to Tyler Roberts, who's onside on the edge of the penalty area. Rides two challenges. Click, well, he tried to play the ball, I think, to Jack Harrison there. And it just went under the feet of Jack Harrison. And a good opening for Leeds is blocked, but they can try and build again from the halfway line. Still the two subs wait. The ball remains in play. Stuart Dallas now. Leeds have got good bodies forward here. Click. Hernandez to his right. Pablo Hernandez picks the ball up now. Looks up. Thinks about something extravagant and then thinks again and picks the simple ball out and then pops into another space and gets the ball there instead. And Luke Ayling gives it back to Pablo Hernandez. And Hernandez into Tyler Roberts. And then Roberts, well, that's a little too far ahead from Jack Harrison of Pablo Hernandez. And easy for the goalkeeper. And now Charlton trying to work the ball away from their own penalty area.
Yeah, we're just seeing the opportunity at the other end. When it does eventually come back in, Ayling does really well. Good save for Meslier initially as well.
So Leeds determined to at least keep the scoreline as it is, if not to improve upon it. And they have a free kick now, and now the substitutions can be made. So now Poveda and Shackleton can come into the action, and Alioski is one of the players to be replaced. I would suspect that Pablo Hernandez might well be the other player, because it's just such a shame there aren't people in here to salute this man as he walks off. The 19 goes up on the board down below us, and we should stand and clap, really, because what a contribution Pablo Hernandez has made to this season for Leeds United. Absolutely magnificent. And he will be remembered forever for his efforts in that Leeds United shirt. The 35-year-old has produced some outstanding moments, some fantastic goals, and his contribution has been so important.
You're absolutely right. There's no one more distraught than Hernandez towards the end of last season, but he's rallied the boys together and he's produced himself some scintillating football at really important times at the end of this season.
So two new fresh pairs of willing runners come on for Leeds, possibly much to the disappointment of Charlton. Poveda will certainly have a run. Shackleton, we know, we've seen enough of Jamie Shackleton to know that he'll be all energy, all effort.
There Williams had the ball. We're 3-0 up. There's 4 men around Williams. He's just can't believe he hasn't got any space in his own third. The way we close down has been incredible. The last 2 years, it really has been a feature of our game.
Poveda's first real action is to commit a free kick, but that's another one of those classic Leeds free kicks, isn't it? When you know the ball's gone away and you step across the man and the potential for a counter-attack is prevented.
Are you trying to say that was cynical? Is that what you're trying to say?
Is that
cynical challenge?
Yeah. Isn't it called a professional foul
That's the
or
one.
something?
That's the one.
I don't know. There's method in it. Charlton attack, edge of the penalty area, shot in and over. And the Charlton player just looks down to the ground there, really. My fancy here would be Charlton will have a bit of a go at it for another 4 or 5 minutes and then maybe just decide that it's time to retreat again.
I think the third goal's it's killed them off, Brent, to be honest with you. I think the way that Leeds have played, I can't overemphasise how impressed I am with their attitude, dedication and application, and the way that they approach every game. They could be forgiven after the season that they've had for a poor performance at Derby, a poor performance today. They've got promoted, they've won the league. What more can they do? Yet you see here now, Klitsch chasing every ball, first at every tackle. Charlton must be just like, please go away, just leave us alone for 5 minutes.
Yeah, you've got to go some to keep up with Leeds. I mean, the Premier League sides will feel that they'll work a way out, I'm sure. And of course, the step up is going to be huge. But it will be so interesting to see what Leeds United can do at that next level, what these players can do at that next level. And hopefully Marcelo Bielsa is the man to lead them into that attempt to stay in, maybe initially. Others will tell me they're more ambitious than that.
They need a couple of very clever signings and astute signings we've seen this season. We've seen Norwich pretty poor, come out with a whimper, not really have a go at the Premier League, not spend a lot of money. But then on the other hand, we've seen Aston Villa throw over 100 million at it, and they get it wrong as well, and they're hanging on by their bootlaces. So there's 2 examples there of how not to do it. One with a lot of money, and one with, didn't put really any investment into it. I think the 2 signings we talked about are key to do, and then strengthen the squad as a whole for a Premier League campaign.
I think you're right. I think it's not about quantity of players. I think it's about quality, and that's what really needs to be brought in. 3 or 4 real quality players rather than bringing 6 or 7 players in.
Now one for Poveda to chase. Look at the Leeds players sprinting forward to join him. And it comes to Shackleton. Oh, he's only got to done it again. Oh, he's prolific. Poveda provides the pass. Shackleton provides the finish. Cue celebrations. Leeds United 4, Charlton 0.
Shackleton, goal machine. Absolutely fantastic. But it was the desire and fitness for Jamie Shackleton. He wanted to get there before anyone else. Lee Bowyer on the sidelines can only look on. His side have been demolished. Pure and simple, but what a ball that is. Out to Poveda. Gets in behind. I think it's Doughty on that right-hand side. What I like then, he controls it, looks up, but Shackleton runs onto the pass, which is played at a great pace into Jamie Shackleton. Go on, stroke it home. And he only goes and does it again. Fantastic.
Well, everyone deserves a good drink after that. I suspect it's some sort of energy juice that they're going to go for, but it might as well be a nice bottle of champagne down there, mightn't it now?
Whatever's down there, I want some, because I want to play like this. It's absolutely superb. Robbo, it's not bad, is it?
No, it's brilliant. And it's actually, like we said, it's so nice to sit here and relax and watch it. But the players look relaxed. The players look energised. They look like they're looking forward to the next chapter. We saw a little glimpse of a player that we haven't seen much of there, Poveda. We just saw a little bit of, his pace, his ability, his first touch. When he first came in, he came onto the bench, then he was left out for a while. We didn't see much of him. Another one that had to get used to the Bielsa way, had to get him fit, had to get him ready, had to get him used to the training methods. And we've seen him now more and more integrated into this first team squad, into the first team. So he's another player who'd be as good as a new signing for next season.
And you feel that maybe Poveda's been kept back a little bit until he's ready, basically until he's up to speed with the rest. Then you put him in.
Yeah, as we've seen with many players that have come in under Marcelo Bielsa, they're not ready for him. They're not ready for the way he trains, the demands that he puts on them. The perfect example of that was Kevin Augustine this year. He came, he looked completely unmatched fit. couldn't get used to Bielsa's methods in training, and in trying to get fit, in trying to get match fit, he broke down with injury, and we've seen him break down with injury again. And the manager doesn't have that. He won't stand for that. Send him away. That's it. It's not for me. You have to be a certain type of player, a certain type of character to play for this manager.
I think what's interesting as well with the new signings we will make, I'm sure we'll try to get them as early as we can as well, because Marcelo Bielsa wants them right at the start of pre-season. That's why he left Lazio for only 2 days. The president, of course, promised him 4 or 5 players on the first day he was back. They didn't turn up. He buggered off back to Argentina. In that, he needs the players nice and early so he can get them fit, understand the system, get them ready to go for the first game in the Premier League.
Well, Marcelo Bielsa, who has fashioned this incredible story here at Leeds United, taking what many would have described as a fairly ordinary squad, I'm sure the players won't mind me describing them as that, to the giddy heights of top of the table and clear and promoted with 2 games to spare and champions with 2 games to spare. The only thing is that he never stays anywhere longer than 2 seasons. So Leeds United have the challenge here to make sure he stays for that 3rd season.
Bryn, why did you mention that for?
Sorry.
I was all happy and just watching the game, and now you're going to say something like that. Actually, it's an interesting point, though, about Bielsa, because if you think what he's done to certain players, how he's turned their career on their heads, Calvin Phillips, Coops, this man here, Ben White, maybe he might want to stay and learn even more under Marcelo Bielsa.
Well, it would be a fantastic education, surely, for any player. We were chatting about this with Adam Forshaw on Sunday, about how much players learn from playing with him. And Harrison chipping the ball up into the penalty area. Well, Poveda fancies one now, having provided one. And then Luke Ayling. And then Dallas, who slips as he shoots, but Leeds still have the ball. Charlton have just sunk back into their own half here. And Harrison can go again. Leeds not letting up. 20 minutes to go and still pushing for more. Harrison, this time, an easy catch for the keeper.
I think they're now trying to get Poveda to get a header at the back post to jump up like a salmon, 7 foot in the air and
Is that
score.
next on the list?
That's the next on the list. The outside of the boot's already been scored. Now it's Poveda with a header.
To your point, Bryn, about the manager, I think Leeds are a different prospect in the transfer market with a manager like him at the helm. We've heard of Pep Guardiola, Pochettino talk about him as their mentor, as like a guru figure. And we've seen Guardiola trust him with their younger players. He will be trusted with low-knee players at so-called bigger clubs because managers know their players will get fitter, they'll get stronger, they'll play the right way, and they'll become better players. But the reputation that the manager's grown himself in his time in England, he will attract key players in a similar kind of way as Ancelotti will at Everton. Everton are now a different animal in the transfer market purely because of the manager. Leeds and what they've done this season, the way they've played football and the way the manager's gone about things, players will want to come here and play for this manager and in the way that they play.
So we'll see the impact of that, no doubt, over the coming days and weeks. Leeds United, Andrea Radrizzani, the owner, has already been away and business, as it were. So Leeds are already looking at that recruitment. They know there are more bodies are required, but I think the body of what Marcelo Bielsa has built here will be involved in the Premier League next season. Sheffield United did it really, really well. Kept all the same names, pretty much, added to it with 1 or 2, and have had a fabulous season as they've gone back into the top division as well. A style of play that is not entirely dissimilar to the way Leeds United play. And there's Stroud, great header from Stroud there. Still doing the right thing, getting in to help out defensively. Well, QPR have equalised against West Bromwich Albion.
Oh, wow.
Brentford are still losing at home to Barnsley, but the margin for error is beginning to slip again for West Bromwich Albion. And you just wonder what more twists and turns there might be everywhere else. Charlton, of course, are deep in the mire as a result of this heavy defeat that they are suffering here at Ellen Road this evening. 4 goals down with 20 minutes to go. Could yet get worse. Ball goes out, goal kick, and Leeds are going to make 2 more changes. And now big moments for a couple of the younger players. Bogus is coming on, and Jordan Stevens is coming on as well. Matthias Klick will head towards the touchline for the final time this season with a little wave, and he can be another one who would be rightly the recipient of a great applause with this stadium filled to the rafters because his contribution again has just been so big. Goals scored, work rate, positional play. Jack Harrison, another who will be staying here next season, that's already in the bag. And another who's had a fantastic season, a season to remember, and who's, I'm sure, improved as a player as well.
Without a doubt, another one who's improved under Bielsa in a very, very clever way that the deal's been structured. So it allows them to use the finances that they maybe would have spent on him this summer to have a year, hopefully, in the Premier League to stabilise, to get more funds in and then pay for the player at the end of next season. And they can use that money that they would have used now for other reinforcements. A very cleverly structured deal.
I think Harrison has been superb as well. He has got better and better. I still think he can improve as well. He scored, I think, 7 or 8 goals. I put him down for 10 when I talked to him earlier in the season. I think he could easily have got that, but yeah, I think he's one to keep, and he's had a great season.
Tyler Roberts tries to chip a ball over the top for Ian Paveda. This time the goalkeeper is out before the Leeds player and collects comfortably. And a great moment for the 2 young players who are out there, who've come on now for Leeds, because they are part of something big here. This just further works them into the group, gives them a little bit of a feeling. Not quite the same, of course, without the crowds, but to be part of this team, to be able to play in a title-winning side, a promotion-winning side, and to be able to do it in the company of such fine players, it's all part of their education, I guess.
Absolutely is, and Bogus, I thought we'd see a little bit more of him throughout the season. Pre-season in Australia, I saw him at close quarters. He played a few of the games out there. He was superb. He really was. He stood out as one for the future. Hasn't really had those opportunities just yet, but to see him on the pitch right at the end, clearly Bielsa thinks a lot of him. But there's the lads in the stand, relaxing, taking it easy, and looking on. Their job's done.
There's the man on the bucket, the man who's made it all happen. Well, Brentford have equalised against Barnsley now, so West Brom are still going up, but Brentford are only 1 goal away potentially from catching them. And of course, behind them still, Fulham chasing. And the table as it stands sees Charlton, as a result of that equalising goal, move above Barnsley, still in the bottom 3 though, but position in the bottom 3 could yet prove important. And at the other end of the table, it's West Bromwich Albion just pipping Brentford to it at the moment, and Fulham just coming up behind them. So there is confirmation of the way the table looks at the moment. Leeds United, well, not quite miles out in front now, but certainly stretching their lead even over the final stages of this long season.
Yeah, we are miles in front. Simple as that.
Okay.
Of course we are miles in front. We're done and dusted. What are you on about? And I tell you what, if we actually took just a few more % of our chances, which we certainly should have done, we would have had this wrapped up nice and early. But hey, we've done it anyway.
Did it over the weekend without having to kick a football. I was here on Friday night as West Bromwich Albion were beaten by Huddersfield Town. That was some evening. Car still suffering as a result of it. If anybody knows a good panel beater, give me a call.
You really shouldn't have parked it there, should you, Britain?
It was, in hindsight,
No.
it was an error. When I saw the bare-chested lad standing on the roof, I thought maybe that wasn't the best place to leave it. Still, he apologised to me after, which is nice. And I got off better than a few others, it has to be said. I'm sure you've seen the pictures. Same car is parked in a very much safer position this evening. Charlton about to make another change, and bringing on Green.
What about that skill from Paveda? My goodness.
And he's chasing the second ball. Roberts gets there anyway, and he'll have a shot. Just drags that one wide there, Tyler Roberts.
The celebrations you talked about on Friday were fantastic to see. But as you say about the mess and the deluge that was left the next morning, I was here working with a camera crew the next morning at 7:15 in the morning, and the amount of Leeds fans that turned up as volunteers to help clean the streets, to clean the mess up, was absolutely astounding. And it just shows that the community spirit that the people here and this club have got. Yes, they partied. Yes, they made a mess. Yes, we celebrated. But there was hundreds of Leeds fans turned up at silly o'clock the next morning, and within 2 hours it was all done and returned back to normal. So a lot of credit needs to go to those volunteers.
Oh, absolutely, it's a brilliant effort. And of course, there was high spirits and exuberance, in some examples, over exuberance. But it's been a long wait, and Leeds United were determined that when the moment happened, how are we going to stop Leeds fans celebrating this thing that they've been desperate to see happen for so very long now? And there's been so much bad stuff gone on since Leeds United left the Premier League. The club has been in the real doldrums for a long, long period. All sorts of problems off the pitch as well as on it, down to the third tier. So the journey back has been a long one, but the journey back has been made.
I know the club did everything they can to try and make sure people stayed at home, etc. But this is Leeds United, the fan base that they've got, the supporters they've got. You could play tonight's game at Land's End, John O'Groats, any European country. There would still be Leeds fans there tonight at this game, regardless of where it was played.
Well, it is a global fan base. We'll have people watching this broadcast literally all around the world tonight. Well, it won't even be tonight for some of the people watching. It'll be morning, it'll be afternoon, it'll be all times of the day. Leeds United still carry that huge, huge support. Everywhere you go, there are Leeds United fans, and we've seen examples of that in the last few weeks. We've seen the New York supporters celebrating. We've seen the bridge lit up in Australia, paid for by the Queensland Whites, I believe. Incredible scenes, really. It's a football club that carries its support base way, way beyond West Yorkshire. Has built a fan base over the years. Maybe the Revy years were the key to that. So many stay with the club. Scandinavia, Republic of Ireland. And that is something that Leeds can really tap into now in the top division, the Global League, the Premier League. Tyler Roberts. These players can look forward to playing in front of that vast audience as well. Luke Ayling, into the box it goes. Bogus picks it up, pushes it back to Poveda. Poveda will take on his man. Charlton really on the heels here now. As the ball comes to Shackleton to cut back. Oh, it was so close for Tyler Roberts there. That would have been another lovely fashioned goal from Leeds. All about the pace of the build-up play, the precision of the passing. And Charlton, well, it's going to be a long journey back to London, South London for them this evening. And it remains to be seen whether it's a journey that will be made again at championship level. Well, not to this ground, but to others next season. Whether they will be playing once more League One football. Leeds now just really completely and utterly dominant. Stuart Dallas probably gives a pass away. But then quickly, Liam Cooper. What a season Liam Cooper has had as well. Another player who's spent most of his career down in the lower leagues. Came to Leeds United from Chesterfield, of course. And it's not always been that easy for him here, but this season has been just magnificent, hasn't it?
You're absolutely right, and he's one of those players when he first came, you're thinking, well, is he good enough to stay in this Leeds United side? Well, I tell you what, he's a man reborn. He's been superb this season, leading this side as well, saying and doing all the right things. Great understanding with Ben White. And there's no doubt he's helped a lot of the young lads around him as well. I think he's been certainly one of the best. I mean, it's very hard to pick out individuals as well, because there's so many that have had wonderful seasons, but Coops and Ben White at the back certainly has been the rock that everything else has been built around.
And Liam Cooper, as you say, has been a great captain because the way he's conducted himself, the things he said, the way he's talked. I've been very impressed with Liam Cooper, both on and off the pitch this season. Poveda for Leeds as they attack once more. So many options. Comes back short to Shackleton to Poveda. Dallas, ever willing runner. Stuart Dallas gives it back to Luke Ayling. Charlton just can't get the ball here. Shackleton now, bogus. Leeds just want to keep it. Still have it. Go back to the halfway line if need be. Start all over again. Stroke in the middle of the two central defenders. Meslier to Luke Ayling. And then Ben White is brought into play. And even the Charlton subs, I mean, Anike looks tired out there now, and he's not done a half yet.
Well, he's had to run around and try and get the ball. That's the problem. He's getting nowhere near it. Best thing is stand still and recover.
Great ball from Tyler Roberts. just taken down on the upper chest by Stevens. Good ball into Stuart Dallas. Dallas with a square ball. Bogus. Stroud. I mean, that was close.
Was that your car, Bryn?
Don't. Just don't. Dallas. To Roberts. And Paveda. Paveda skips past the challenge and still going. Still on the boys' foul then. And Leeds can deliver a ball into the penalty area from the set piece just outside the box. And we're into the final 10 minutes now. And the pattern of the play is exactly as it has been from minute one in this game. You might say as it has been from minute one in this season, really. Starting away at Ashton Gate, as we've said, nearly a year ago in this centenary season that we always hoped would have an incredible end. It did, but we would never have predicted how it would come about. Leeds are just a few weeks short of the actual first ever game that Leeds United played after the demise of Leeds City away against Port Vale. So that date will be marked next month, and that will be a couple of weeks before the start of a new season. As the ball bounces over the head.
The manager's going mad. We're champions. We're going to the Premier League. We're 4-0 up at home in the last game of the season. The manager has just got up and gone absolutely mad at a stray ball.
Oh yeah, Marcelo Bielsa is using Lee Bowyer, but now you see Marcelo Bielsa. He's not a happy man. He is pushing his players right to the very end. And they said, the players themselves have been saying over these last couple of games, they wouldn't have expected anything else. That's how they knew it was going to be. There was no question of them easing off because the job was done. In the final two games of the season, Leeds have so far scored 7 goals in those final 2 games, conceded just 1.
Absolutely right. And I think when the pressure was on, look back to last season, how we played. Now this season, this will be the 6th win straight when it really mattered. When everyone is saying, how will Leeds handle the pressure? Will they stumble like they did last season? Well, we've got stronger and stronger and stronger, and really proven that we are the best.
Yeah, emphatically no was the answer to that, wasn't it? And again, the players have talked about the experience they went through last season and their determination not to see that repeated again this time around. That's why they're doing what they're doing, even at this very moment now. Pouring forward, Luke Ayling, ball in field. First touch is a little heavy. Charlton can attempt to clear. The ball is up and over the halfway line. And then Ike leaves Cooper in his wake. And then he leaves Dallas in his wake. But ultimately, progress is halted. The net result of all that effort is that Leeds get themselves a free kick, and Ike barks out in frustration. All that effort, and he's got absolutely nowhere.
It's the first time they just launched it up to the big man. I don't know why they haven't tried that earlier, because they haven't been able to pass it through the thirds of the pitch, and Ike actually does quite well. He's got Coops' shirt there. Dallas, not sure what he's doing exactly, but even then, there's no real